Most people planning a Central Europe trip have heard of these capital cities: Prague, Vienna, Budapest. But Ljubljana, if it shows up at all, is usually a quick stop on the way to somewhere else. We stayed 14 days. One thing we did right, we spent a day at Lake Bled, 45 minutes away, and we'll tell you how easy that is even without a car.
What we didn't do right, we were using the city completely wrong. And we didn't figure that out until we were almost done. We'll share our full costs at the end because Ljubljana will surprise you, just not in the direction you'd expect.
I'm Judy.
And I'm Kevin. Welcome back to Find Gina Marie, where we share our lives as full-time travelers and the connections we make along the way. If you're not familiar where Ljubljana is, Slovenia is a small country in Central Europe, roughly the size of New Jersey. And from Ljubljana, you can reach some extraordinary places within an hour. We'll come back to that. We arrived by Flixbus from Trieste, Italy, about 90 minutes away.
It's closer to Italy than most people realize.
And you feel that the moment you start eating here. Some of the best pizza we've eaten was from Pop's Pizza. When we arrived by bus, it was raining, so we ended up taking an Uber to our apartment. And I was surprised at how far away he dropped us off, and then realized, oh, this is all pedestrian only.
And that's something we really enjoy about many of the places we travel to. Pedestrian areas are some of our favorite places because we really like to be in walkable cities, and this definitely is one of them.
It turned out that was Congress Square, where a lot of activities are happening all through our stay there.
It's pretty much the heart of the city.
Now, this pedestrian-only area also invited bikes, which meant that we were kind of sharing the same spaces, and the people on bikes were going much faster than us walking around.
And there are a lot of bikes.
One thing we love in cities is a water feature, and Ljubljana has this beautiful river that runs through it, a lot of boats, a lot of restaurants, a lot of activities going on around it, which always is a highlight for us.
My first impression upon being dropped off by our Uber was how cool the architecture was here. And when we were walking along the river, it was just amazing, all of the beautiful buildings. And it turns out that in 1895, there was an earthquake that leveled a significant part of the city. And so all of that area had to be rebuilt, which was done in Art Nouveau and Art Deco styles, with a lot of influence from Vienna. Now, one of the reasons that all of the architecture looks so unified is because there was one architect whose hands were on so much of the new construction. His name was ZHIYUN Plečnik. We'll be talking about him a bit.
One thing that you're going to see in Ljubljana is dragons. There's a dragon bridge, there's dragon souvenirs, there's dragons everywhere, even lampposts and dragon facades. It's just the symbol of the city.
And when they were rebuilding the city, Ljubljana went all in on his dragon theme. A couple of the things that we did wrong was not go on an architectural tour of the city and also not visit ZHIYUN Plečnik's house. His effect on Ljubljana has been compared to what Gaudi did to Barcelona.
And once you know his name, you're going to see his influence everywhere.
In fact, he even worked on the renovation of the Prague Castle. There are several bridges in Ljubljana, but the triple bridge is probably one you'll photograph on your first day there. And of course, it was Plečnik. The covered market colonnades are Plečnik. The classical stone doorway built directly into a 2,000-year-old Roman wall. Plečnik. And he even redesigned the area of town that we were in, Congress Square, which is now UNESCO listed as part of his legacy. One of the things we really enjoyed was seeing all of the little bronze sculptures that were everywhere. And a lot of them were from Jakov Brodar. In fact, he spent decades placing his bronze figures throughout the city center. On the Butcher's Bridge, the Lovelock Bridge, you'll find his large figures too.
Statues like Prometheus and Adam and Eve, a satire. These are prominent statues we saw every day when we were walking down the river.
Now, one of the ones that I particularly liked were the ducks with some pieces of bread beside them. One of the places that we missed, and I wish we hadn't, was Locksmith Street. It's a narrow medieval alleyway in the Old Town that we didn't find while we were there. There are 700 small bronze faces embedded in the gully of the lane, leading to a skeleton trapped in a cage. They're all Brodar. Now that we know this, we'll pass this along to you. Just look for the key emblem near the entrance. It's easy to walk straight past it.
One thing I didn't expect to be searching for in Ljubljana was a meklomat, which is basically a milk machine.
So basically, a local dairy farmer owns and operates the machine, and every day they change the milk, fresh from their cows that morning. You bring your own bottle, or you can buy one from the machine for about €1. Put it under the spout, insert your coins, and it fills with fresh milk.
And a couple was watching us fill our bottle of milk, and they just joined in right after us, and we helped them with a couple of the steps that we figured out. And Talked to them actually a few minutes later, and they were thrilled with it. They actually filled the second bottle. They were so happy with the milk. How good is it?
It's good and cold, and it's rich. Tastes good, yes. Yes. 30, 40 years has it been since I've just drank milk?
Yeah, we just don't do that anymore.
Oh, but it's rich. It says skimmed, but I feel like it tastes richer than skim does.
Well, if the last time we drank milk was a long time ago, I guess we don't know what it tastes like
Maybe.
anymore.
I would say that Ljubljana is a city of contrast because in some ways, after being around a little bit, it felt kind of touristy. But then obviously something like this is very non-touristy. This is something that locals are used to doing. These are scattered throughout the city. So it's really not geared towards tourists.
Yeah, we'll talk about this in a little bit, but it really was a blended city.
One small perk of staying in a place longer is that when bad weather gets in the way, it doesn't mean that you are totally missing fun experiences that you want to have. That's especially true regarding the Friday market. The first Friday that we were there, it was pouring rain and they ended up canceling it. It only runs from March till October, but it's definitely something that you want to participate in.
And again, this is not tourist only. Locals love this market. You can see that they're coming there to get their foods, and there's a lot of different foods here. Traditional Slovenian, international, local wine, a lot of different Asian foods.
How this works is local restaurants set up in this open kitchen market and offer street versions of their restaurant foods. I think it's a great way for you to sample a restaurant you might not otherwise have gone to in an affordable way. And some people have actually said they prefer the street stall versions than even going to the restaurants themselves. This is way bigger than I wanted, but I was really in the mood for some vegetables, and bibimbap really delivers on all of them.
Fell on deaf ears with close family.
You got a little spice in there, they said, right?
Yes. Really good. Crunchy, delicious. Fresh tasting.
One thing we found here that I was really enjoying, Slovenian orange wine. It's white wine, but it's made with extended contact to the skin of the grape, so it turns to an orange color. A lot of restaurants didn't offer orange wine. They'd say they didn't have a bottle of it, but at this market, there was a special booth just for it.
Fortunately, if you stop in a wine shop, you can probably get some version of an orange wine.
The first day we were walking through Congress Square, they were setting up this big stage. And it seemed like every day there was a different activity, a different festival, a different announcement going on about something, competitions, just so much happening every single day.
Some of the festivals we weren't particularly interested in, but the one we really did like was the Asian Festival. And that's where it was a weekend full of Asian food. There were a whole bunch of other activities, but basically we enjoyed eating stall after stall of Asian food, and it was delicious.
It's the same spot as the Central Kitchen.
Although there's plenty to do in the heart of the city, if you step outside of that a little bit, there's also some Roman ruins that are definitely worth stopping and taking a look at.
As you walk through the highlighted spots in this Roman trail, you're not going to see a huge ancient building, so don't be expecting that. There's good information on the signage as you stop and look at these different stations, and there's a lot of history here.
In fact, there's remains of a Roman house behind a fence in a residential neighborhood, and we couldn't go in because it was closed by the time we arrived, but we could still take some pictures. And
I have ways of sneaking the camera through the fence.
And there is a Roman wall, and one thing that you'll see, which confused me a little bit, because it's not actually Roman per se, is Plečnik built a pyramid out of the Roman stones, and it's known as his pyramid. Basically a stone doorway set into the Roman wall.
One of our favorite topics about any place is its food.
One of the places you definitely want to visit is Slovenska ZHIYUN. Its history dates back to 1776. I got some really delicious stuffed peppers with mashed potatoes when we were there, but there's another location that we also liked, and we preferred the desserts that were there.
Which is a delicious apple and shredded pancake dessert, but it's also very big. I ate it as kind of a meal.
I opted for a traditional Slovenian dessert, which basically had poppy seeds, walnuts, cottage cheese, apple filling, all inside a flaky pastry. But I do have to admit that I preferred Kevin's dish over mine.
Of course, we have to find a coffee shop in every city that we go, and Cafetino was a wonderful spot. Now, if you're looking for a place to bring your laptop in and sit down with some Wi-Fi, this is not the place. But if you like free trade coffee beans and a lot of detailed information about what the best bean is for the type of coffee that you want, an ideal place. They have an upstairs, which was really nice. We just walk up there and table service. And of course, the coffee was wonderful.
And so were the croissants. They were very fresh tasting. We loved them. One of the interesting things that the barista had told us was that 3 years ago, it would be 70% Slovenians and 30% tourists. And now that number has flipped.
And they don't seem upset about it.
It felt like there were a lot of locals because people were bringing their pets and parking their bikes. So it definitely had a local feel to it.
And this wasn't the only place we had fresh croissants. This town loves its baked goods.
One coffee shop that we ate at a few times had the freshest croissants, and one time had some cookies alongside the coffee that we couldn't get enough of. And they told us that they get their baked goods from Legisha Bakery. And I will tell you, it brought back so much nostalgia. It reminded me of Mexican wedding cookies just without the nuts. They were delicious. This is not a touristy bakery at all, and it's absolutely worth a 15-minute walk to get there. All you have to do practically when you're wandering through the city is look up, and you'll see Ljubljana Castle.
The nice part is you don't have to walk up to this castle. You can take a funicular. We found the exhibits that were in this castle interesting, but they certainly weren't mind-blowing. This is the smallest armory museum I've ever been in. It's more like an armory closet. If you're wondering whether you have time for it, you do. And it's kind of a coin flip if you actually need to go there or not. Everyone told us that we need to go to Lake Bled. It's 45 minutes away from Ljubljana, but we don't rent cars when we're in a place. Looking at the options, there was a train, which everyone said, don't do the train. It's not really near the lake where you want to be. But the bus was really easy and inexpensive to get there. If you don't buy your tickets online, you're going to need cash at the bus station.
When we looked at pictures online, it would look stunning. But of course, you don't necessarily expect it to look that good in person. It really did look that beautiful.
When we arrived at Lake Bled, we were pretty hungry, so instead of climbing the castle stairs first, we decided to stop at this osteria with very traditional Slovenian food.
In fact, Kevin's sausage was really enjoyable, wasn't
it? Oh, it was delicious. And they were very generous portions, so we were quite stuffed when we left there. If you want to get the best stunning views of the lake, go up to Bled Castle. It's a bit of a hike. It's a switchback walkway that takes you up to the castle, and it's worth it once you get up there.
But there are a lot of steps, so if you don't have good mobility, this is probably not the hike for you. It really was only 20 minutes from base to top.
And there's also a road that gets you there, so you may be able to get just an Uber ride up to the castle, so you don't have to do the big walk.
We enjoyed this castle far more than the one in Ljubljana, so if you only are going to see one, this is the one we think you'll enjoy more.
The ticket price isn't cheap at this castle, but there is a lot to see, and there are also places you can sit down and enjoy the view, have a coffee or a small snack. So there's more up there to kind of hang out and be for half a day.
In fact, I think one of the must-dos if you like dessert at all is to get the Bled cream cake. There's a more traditional version, but this one was great, and we also got this bonus view. So I think this is like a dobish tort where it's kind of hard to break the top. So be very careful or you'll be wearing all that powdered sugar.
Don't sneeze. I think I can get through it. There we go. All right, 3 layers. Got all 3.
Does it remind you of a strudel?
No. Well, maybe. I don't know. This whole thing reminds me of something like I've had it before. Just not this thick, maybe.
We spent about 5 hours in Bled, and I think we enjoyed every minute of it. We did a lot of walking. The circumference of the lake is beautiful, and it was worth our time. One thing we didn't do, though, was take a boat to the castle that is on this little island, and maybe that would have been nice, but it was fine that we missed it.
There's nice park areas there that you can just hang out in. And of course, you may get friendly ducks that walk by.
After this day trip to Bled, we realized that we were looking at Ljubljana all wrong. The biggest mistake when we were here was treating Ljubljana as a destination. I think 2 weeks actually was a little bit too long, but it's so easy to get around and see so many other things that we ended up missing.
And it's really easy to get seduced by the central area of the city.
As we mentioned earlier, we arrived from Trieste, Italy, and that could have been a few days that you could come and go very easily from Ljubljana. Ljubljana. There also is Postojna Cave, which people rave about, and if you're not too tired of castles, there's also Predjama Castle, and so much more. We think that Ljubljana has the potential to be one of the best bases in Europe because there are so many things nearby.
And if you love scenic views, Slovenia is a wonderful country. Let's talk about what it costs for our time in Ljubljana.
We spent 14 days here, and we traveled by Flixbus for a mere $46 or $23 per person. Accommodations in the heart of the city, in Congress Square, were $2,291 or $164 per day. That, I think, was part of our mistake. It is very expensive to stay here, and we realized that when we were actually booking accommodations. We were planning to stay even longer, but at that price, it was a little bit out of our budget to extend our time there. Getting around the city cost $60. Dining and groceries were a total of $1,124 or $40 per person per day, which wasn't bad at all. Activities cost us a total of $120, and the total cost of our stay here was $3,641. Minus the cost of transportation to travel from Trieste, we spent $3,595, which breaks down to $257 per day and $129 per person per day. We think it's a great hub, but it definitely didn't need a full 14 days here. So what were our final impressions about Ljubljana?
I liked it a lot, and I thought the river was a great influence. Certainly loved to walk up and down that. But thinking back, I don't know if there was that much to do in the city itself.
And we're people who don't mind slow travel. So the fact that I was ready to leave when we did, I definitely felt like there were things that I wish we'd done while we were there, but they were day trips for the most part.
Right. If you just enjoy hanging out, having aperitivi or nice meals by a river, fantastic place to do that. In fact, we had one couple that said they love just to hang out on the river here. This is one of their favorite places. I just don't know if it has the depth to go the distance if you want to be in a place for a longer period of time.
Now, we really do like pedestrian-focused cities, and we give this a 5 out of 5 in terms of mobility scale.
Overall, I love this city. I definitely would rate it as a place you need to go. And as Judy said before, it's just not a place you may want to extend your stay, especially with the lodging costs.
If you are looking for a long stay destination, we highly recommend Trieste. We have a full video about it, and you can watch it here next. Thank you so much for joining us here in Slovenia. Our next stop is Riga, Latvia. You're not going to want to miss it. If you haven't subscribed, we'd love for you to do that.
Remember to
wander more,
worry less,
and bring a passport.
Until next time.
Until next time.